Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Emily in Madrid. In the last one, we left off with this very silly picture of a box of condoms, which I had a good chuckle at, and my instant new friend had a good chuckle at too, endearing us forever in our journey throughout Spain. Now we'll just plunge ahead. Originally, I was like, oh, I should try to break these up by like days of the trip and stuff, but I think instead I'll just kind of keep going at it until I fill up some length of time that makes a good episode, and then pick up from there after. And also, I have a hard time remembering when one day ends and the other begins with some of these pictures, since they're just kind of all out and about. But hopefully we'll cover at least something interesting in each episode, or at least relatively interesting for me and the typical sort of thing I put on this channel. Okay, so we all squatted up. We were out doing some shopping. I got some nice street shots. I like this very pink building. Just beautiful architecture everywhere you looked. Just that really nice, serene, prestigious, kind of formal but comforting old world feel. This was an interesting lamp that had been left out on the street, having been hand decorated with Sharpie. Someone's prized possession, perhaps. I have no idea what it was doing out there, but there you go. Just another shot of the sky. Again, it blows my mind to see so few clouds. It just doesn't seem possible. And you might think, is that even desirable at this point when you're complaining about the heat? And the answer is, you're right. It's brutal. It's so friggin' hot. But there is something so uniquely beautiful about just staring up at a perfectly blue sky. Just that eternal gradient from one horizon to the other. Here is a beautiful building, which I believe is called the Museo de Historia de Madrid. Now, what could that mean? The History Museum of Madrid, of course. We did not go in here, but this facade is just mind-blowingly intricate. We see all sorts of... This guy kind of looks like a conquistador, which is maybe not the proudest moment of Spanish history, but certainly a flamboyantly beautiful visage. Here's a whole bunch of scooters and mopeds and e-bikes and whatever. These were all over the place here. It was very unclear where they were supposed to be parked. It had kind of a chaotic feel where it kind of seemed like once enough of them were parked there, it was just, well, who can get rid of all of them now? And people would rush to fill in all of the remaining space. Maybe this is a designated parking area. I don't know. Just everything was like very loosely delineated. But everyone got along anyways. It didn't seem to be causing really any problems. And of course, you gotta think, every one of these is basically a car off the road, so you'll love to see it. This was a nice old door. I think I probably took this picture because it said 69 and I am a child. But this is an interesting little observation here. My cousin pointed out, oh, you were talking about how, oh, it seems like they only graffiti certain things. You're thinking about it the wrong way. It's that they can remove the graffiti from everywhere besides there. And I was like, oh man, that makes so much more sense. I had like a total kind of reversal of causality. It's that picture, it's like that picture of the plane, the pepperoni plane, where they mark all of the shots, places that the plane had been shot when it returns from doing bombing runs. And they're like, these are the places the plane is most likely to get hit. But it's like, no. Those are the places in the plane where it can survive getting hit, because the plane still lands. If it gets hit in the other places, the plane just never comes back. It gets shot down. So a kind of similar logic twisted my brain a little bit with this graffiti, that the places where graffiti persists aren't necessarily the most in-demand places, but rather those are just the places that don't get cleaned. But you can see here some graffiti that someone did to this door that they're kind of in the process of trying to remove it, fade it away, whatever. But it's kind of neat. The living history of graffiti, I think, is so fascinating. Just this eternal washing and unwashing and creating and uncreating. This was at a store called Decathlon, which was this giant 3-floor sports complex store. It had a lot of really neat stuff. We were picking up a few essentials there. But one thing that blew my mind was this Mosquito Net Hammock. I thought this was like the coolest thing. Very surprisingly cheap. Keep in mind that this is a decimal place in European countries, so it is not 4,999 euros. It is just 49.99 euros. But what a cool concept. What a neat design. Keeps you free from the mosquitoes while you laze around and sway. This was kind of in the same kind of downtown shopping area, which had a lot of big stores and specialty shops and stuff. I don't know if there was a particular reason I took this picture, but if it was, it would be because this dog kind of looks like this little Scotty in this logo. But I don't know if that was actually why. Oh, and here's another little bit of trivia. Here we see Dunkin'. We got Dunkin' Coffee, DN, just Dunkin'. Never Dunkin' Donuts. Because apparently the word donut is trademarked in Spain and perhaps the entire EU by this one company that managed to get the unique intellectual property to release things called donuts. And everything else has to be called like tourist treats or Berliner or round pastry or whatever. So Dunkin' Donuts can't be Dunkin' Donuts. It just has to be Dunkin'. Isn't that strange? It's already novel for me to see a Dunkin' Donuts, because in Canada, Tim Hortons just kind of stomped them out, and they never got a foothold. So, I don't know. I had no interest in trying it. I'm not that much of an American. Here's just some more nice street shots. I like this guy up on his balcony. Just little slices of life you get to see when you're tourisming around. There was a Muji there. We hit up the Muji briefly. I just love Muji. I was excited to see a Muji in Spain. Don't worry, it's gonna get a lot weebier from here. This is just dipping our toes into how insufferable weeby I'm gonna get. Some more street shots. You can see that it's a very crowded area. Lots of people, hustle, bustle, which is nice. You know, outside of COVID, it's I'm a crowd lover. I actually enjoy navigating through crowds and being in crowded spaces. It's just like exciting for me. This is 100% because of my tall privilege, because I never actually have to get lost in a crowd. I'm always peering way above everybody else's heads. So that is one thing I like about being tall, is that crowds have never been a problem for me. Here's another nice old door. I don't know if there was anything in particular I was looking at here, but just very beautiful, very old. Look at this keyhole. It's like a Kingdom Hearts keyhole. It's like a parody of a keyhole. It's too iconic. Here was a candy store called Dolce Mania. Dolce, of course, meaning sweet, but Dolce also being the world's best player at Beat Mania 2DX, the rhythm game. So a store called Dolce Mania. That's funny. What a coincidence. Or perhaps what a Beat Mania fan that runs this store. It's more likely to be a coincidence. Here was a gay McDonald's. We went for Pride Week in Madrid. Most countries do Pride stuff throughout June, but Madrid has theirs on the first week of July. And you could see the city was pretty decked up for it, especially as you started moving into the kind of gay neighborhood, which, you know, is the kind of same as most cities. We spent quite a bit of time there. We'll get to that later. But yeah, this McDonald's got their feelings out. Lots of rainbows. You have complicated feelings about it when you see it. It's not quite you'll love to see it, but it's not like you're... It's I don't know. Is it better than nothing? What point am I trying to make here? I have no point. It is what it is. So this is like a very central metro station, and this whole block was very bustling and full of shops and just these beautiful, beautiful old apartments stacked up on top of the retail. And again, you just got to think these apartments have probably all been in families for 3 generations or more. The one thing that's weird, though, is that they will put up giant billboards over top of what I think are apartment buildings. And I'm like, what if I just live in this unit and through my window I just see the negative of someone's friggin' schnoz? What's going on? So I feel like there's something I'm missing here, like maybe behind this building is actually just office space or something with minimal human involvement. But these gigantic billboards were all over the place. I couldn't figure it out. Here is one without my thumb. Nice side street. Again, I can't get over this architecture. It just like enriches your life a little bit. It's one thing I dislike about Toronto. We don't really have that many beautiful buildings. Everything is very modern. Everything is constantly getting torn down and rebuilt. There's nothing with that kind of weight. That beautiful weight of this building has been here for longer than my grandparents. This building will be here for longer than my grandchildren if they end up existing. Just that thread of continuity that you can touch upon in old cities like this is so beautiful. This was kind of like a combination Best Buy and Indigo type store, plus a lot of other things. Just kind of a general, are you a geek? Would you like to buy a bunch of stuff type store? Like here you can see we got some Death Note panels. There's a lot of Death Note branding, which was strange because Death Note has been over for like 15 years. And we got the big superhero statues. So, you know, it was all over the place, but it was a cool store. This was the floor that had tons of anime figures, which is always a surprise. A bunch of Nendroids in here, including some Nendroids you don't see very often, which was kind of neat. This guy from Demon Slayer, he just got introduced in the episode I just watched, so excited to learn what his deal is. And Nanachi from Made in Abyss. I think this one is like in pretty high demand. It's surprising to see this stuff here, especially in a store that's not anime focused, but is instead just kind of like generic pop culture. They had a huge manga section, and once again I realized that English localization is probably solidly in third. Behind French, I knew was way out ahead, and I'm realizing Spanish as well is making way more of an effort in localizing series that are very popular in Japan that may not have the genre appeal here, where for so long they were like the only things that are going to sell to the North American English-speaking audience are like battle shonen, the stuff they're watching on TV, things like that. And only in like the last 5-10 years have they been localizing other genres and other audiences and stuff. Spain and to an even greater extent France really never had that problem. So here's an excellent example, Kochikame. This series ran in Japan since like the 70s. It was like a huge pop cultural hit, super ubiquitous, kind of the Japanese equivalent of The Simpsons in many ways. Just the kind of episodic sitcom-y type adventure about this little police station. And as far as I know, there is no plans to ever localize it into English officially because it is very, very long. Maybe we should check quick so I don't eat my words. English. Yeah, I don't think it's been localized into English, and I don't think they probably will. But in Spanish, they had this really nice box set of it, and I was like, wow. Just the one example, El Hombre El Gato. This is a series I really like. Maybe it's being localized in English. I don't know. I'm always surprised because I miss when stuff gets localized sometimes, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But I don't know. I was just happy to see it. Vampires is a pretty niche series by a pretty niche author about lesbian vampires that I'm kind of into. And here it is in Spanish. Where is it in English? I don't know. Does it exist? Oh! Ah, Dempa! Yeah. Okay, Dempa Press is actually making a lot of my dreams come true. Oh, goodness. I didn't think all of these were under Dempa as well. But they're localizing a few niche series that I'm really excited about, like Kaiji. This is getting localized finally. This is extremely hype. But I'm sure it had been localized in Spanish for a long time now, since it's been running since 1990. This one blew me away most of all. This one I just felt such a panging longing. So Phoenix has been localized actually a long time ago because it's Tezuka and it's very reputable. So they're like, oh yeah, we got to do our due diligence and localize all these Tezuka classics. But it's been out of print for basically as long as it's been localized, since like the early 2000s. It's impossible to find now. You might get like a single volume on eBay for like $100. And I would love to own it physically because I would love to reread it and pore over it. It's just one of the most remarkable manga series ever made. And here I see in a mainstream store, recently in publication, certainly still putting out editions, this beautiful edition of Phoenix. And I was like, that's why we can't have nice things. Anyways, so that was my little burst of jealousy. Here's a nice array of some of the stuff they were advertising. It's always interesting not just to see, you know, what kind of stuff is localized, what kind of stuff do they have, period, but what stuff they display prominently. And here there's not really any surprises, but it's just neat. Except for this. What is this? Shangri-La Frontier. I don't know what that is. Pretty much all of these other ones I've heard of. This looks interesting. Why is there a bird? Okay, moving on to more weeb stuff. This is a sign out front of a ramen place that I thought was cute. Here's some more back alleys. We were just kind of meandering around, doing some late shopping. This I thought was interesting graffiti. It's like a shopping list. And then right back, we're in it with the weeb shit. So this was the best rated, biggest kind of cult following type weeb store in Madrid. And so I had to make some time to check it out. No worries, the rest of my traveling party went and did something else. And I caught up with them after I thoroughly explored the store. Starting right off, we got some Maydragon buttons and a nice capsule machine. You don't really see capsule machines like this too often outside of Japan. The straight up, what is this called? Gacha? It's Gashapon, yeah. Yeah, I didn't play gacha though. I did not carry cash at all during the entire trip. Here is a wall of just Rem figures. Oh, there's one Ram, sorry. Oh, there's two Rams. Okay, never mind. Here are some Toho sitting Nendroids, and what is this series called? Hello Good Smile or something? I think these are kind of cute. I kind of want some of these, even though I'm not really collecting figures anymore. Well, I did get an Nendroid a few days ago, but even though I'm generally not collecting figures anymore, these are cute. I don't know, they're really cute. I kind of want them. This was a big wall of Nendroids. There's some good stuff in here. They came very, very close to getting this one. The DX solo camping Nadeshiko-chan. And there's two more Nadeshiko-chans. And the other girl's name's I'm not going to try to remember. They got Luigi. They got a really good selection. Decent prices, not like amazing prices, but comparable or maybe a little bit cheaper than the sort of things you would see in North America. Ooh, they got Nezuko. Yeah, I didn't end up getting any weeb stuff at all because it's like, come on. Also, I had limited space because I didn't check a bag. I just had my carry-on bag, so I was like, I don't really want to cram figure boxes into there, especially when I could be getting, you know, actual like Spanish souvenirs. But I was tempted. I did give it a lot of consideration. This is a Shintaro Kago art book I'd never seen before. This I was also very close to buying just because I'd been looking at quite a few Kago art books recently, and I kind of like this one better than the ones that have been like officially released in the West. And I was like, where else am I going to see this? But it didn't have a price listed. And I was like, geez. And it was also like very big and heavy, so I was like, again, just the kind of selection they put out. It's always interesting to see. A lot of Asano stuff, which is cool. And they've fully localized Asano's entire oeuvre, versus, again, North America, it's been very scattershot and slow and out of date. Like, this is a recent volume that I'd really like to read called Heroes. Has not been localized. This is my all-time favorite collection of his, which I actually bought in Spanish just because I thought it was so neat. I thought maybe I'll learn Spanish because I've read this so many times. before dawn and the end of the world. Localized in Spanish, not in English. Anyways, I'm just griping about the same things. Here's the Wall of Nendroids again from another angle. I just knew that I would want to go back and like check out stuff they had and go, I should have got it. I should have got it. In the end, I should have got it. But no, I have no regrets. ACAB. Always good to see. So I think that's it for weeb stuff. Thank you for tolerating it. There was like a decent amount of, anime stores and such, but I didn't make an effort to see them past that. This was just kind of another open public square area. We started looking for something to eat around here. Bijion. Just again, man, these streets are just so beautiful. So lively. Just this kind of relaxed but lively feel everywhere you went. And of course, we were only going fun places like shopping areas and restaurant areas, but it's great to see that side of a city. It's great to feel that enlivenment. Another really beautiful building. Just, my gosh. So good. I keep saying, I think these are apartments. I think these are apartments. But then I'm looking at it and there's like consistent fluorescent looking lighting. Are these offices? These offices or apartments? Now I'm not actually sure. Well, whatever. I'm sure whatever it is only ever used by the ultra wealthy. Here, I thought this was strange. They put up another one of these gigantic kind of billboardy things. But this one is just the fake facade of the building. So I guess they're like doing construction back there, probably. Yeah, there's like scaffolding behind it. Which only just adds more mysteries. Like, isn't it bad enough that you have scaffolding out front of your window and now you have to have this thing? Or does this somehow like help? I don't know. I thought this was an interesting cross. I'm not sure if this is like a church. I don't know. The signs are too blurry to even guess what they say in Spanish. This must be like a church. I don't know. Okay, whatever. Another beautiful building. I love the glass facade here with like the wrought iron. It's so cool. It's like almost like kind of like Art Deco-y on top of everything else. Like it feels like very modernist, if not, modern. Just a really cool combination. Tim Hortons, the other Tim Hortons. Apparently there's 2 in Madrid, and we saw both of them. I didn't go in this one though. There it is on the street, and there is Dear Julian heading into, I think he bought something, I don't remember, but for the novelty, of course. It's a beautiful building down here. This is all just so beautiful. This is just like absurd though, right? These I'm sure are apartments. And then you come downstairs from your hyper luxury apartment and you swing into Timmy's. You're like a princess of some obscure land allotment in northern Spain. Technically you have 100 miles to your name. You've been brought up in the most elite schools and universities, and you've got a nepotism job in some political office, and then your morning routine is to pop down and grab a coffee at Timmy's. I love it. Yeah, just surreal. This I thought was a nice shot. I think the lighting in this shot turned out really well. There's all these like god rays. The tree looks cool. The stuff like swinging along looks cool. The crowd looks awesome. There's like such a, like everybody is lit up, so it's like really distinct, all the people. And then here's our current party of 4 out in front of me, bracing themselves against the light. It's too beautiful. Can't be allowed to take pictures this good just randomly, It makes the whole this whole practice of photography seem suspect. Makes it seem like luck. If even I can just bust out a shot like this every once in a while without really meaning to. Man, didn't that turn out well? Couldn't this be like I don't know, like a postcard? Come to Madrid, stay for adventure. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, whatever. And here you can see the stark contrast, just depending on where the sun is. This is a much less interesting picture. I don't even know why I took this picture. Can explore a little around and see. But I think, where are we heading right now? We're definitely still trying to get dinner, because there would be pictures of food, once we get dinner, and we haven't hit those yet. This I thought was interesting. Plant-based is gay. I think this is like gay positive. Like this is a pro-veganism, pro-homosexual, pro-LGBT type ad. Or graffiti or whatever. But, you know, the same, you could say the same thing and be negative of all of those things. It was very funny to me. I like its goofy little face. This is sideways. Rotate, thank you. This, I think we're heading into the gay neighborhood. Very crowded, very busy, a lot of restaurants around here. Still looking for a place to eat. Oh, yes, and as an appetizer, we got these big penis things. Yeah. Here's Gleb eating his. Good picture. He made some jokes about how you immediately just bit the top off. Don't do that. Here was the one I got. You can get 2 different dips. I was like, oh, give me the strawberry and the white chocolate. And they're like, ah, yeah, it's coming. I was like, you said it. So they got ones that were like ice cream bars. I got one that's like a pastry that's dipped in stuff. It was pretty good. So here I am eating it. Here's my Spain hat, my Poon Poon shirt, my jean shorts, my outfit. Good. Pretty tasty. Hit the spot. Made me really thirsty though. If you know what I mean. No, just kidding. I mean, it was just really sweet. This is like the rough area where that was happening. Another good balcony person. Just chilling out. Yeah, we're definitely in the gay neighborhood now. Everything gay this summer. Good. Here we go. So we got to this restaurant. And we thought it was kind of like a tapas place. Because they had this huge menu of all kind of like shareable type things. Like, you know, a plate of whatever. It's a plate of this, a plate of that. So we thought, all right, let's just order a whole bunch of little dishes and share them. But it turns out they were all big dishes. This was our appetizer. Again, most of these restaurants, they'll give you something. A bowl of olives is the most common, but sometimes we get a little ham on bread. This is a little freebie. Thanks for sitting down. This was good ham, but we'll get to the great ham later. This was a cocktail I got. It was a sangria. I got laughed at by Isabel because I asked, do they have a white wine sangria? And I guess that's not a thing in Spain. That's not a proper sangria. Which makes sense because sangria is like blood, right? Sang, word of blood. I'm sure it's related somehow. So yeah, you wouldn't. The idea is that it looks like blood. But I don't know. I like a white wine sangria. It's tasty. This was interesting poster. It was like of an area of Madrid I had just seen earlier that day, which I thought was really cool. This was the first of our many dishes. These were croquettes, I guess. It was like a croquette variety pack. They each had a different filling. I don't remember what the fillings were. These are 2 other plates we got. These are called potatoes bravitas, which we would call PBs. I couldn't tell if Gleb had decided PBs was a good kind of slang for him to just invent because he loved potatoes bravitas so much, or if this is actually what people called them. But it's kind of like a poutine-ish sort of dish of French fries covered in a sauce. They're fine. This calamari was quite good. But you can see these plates are huge. So we just ordered like so many things thinking they would be like a quarter of the size each. So it was like a good deal, but it was a lot of food. And it wasn't like amazing food either. It was just kind of your standard like pub fare. It was exciting because, you know, these are dishes that I don't normally get to try. Like here are cuttlefish, which were delicious. I did really like the cuttlefish, but like, I don't know, it was just so much food. We ended up taking a ton of leftovers. So that was that. We headed out again, wandering around. I saw this bookstore, which I thought was very cute, and it's called Nakama, which is Japanese for comrade. And I thought this art in the window was very cute. I never went in here, though. I did pass it like 3 or 4 times, but it was always late at night, so it was closed. This is maybe after I've been drinking, because I'm not really sure what I was trying to take a picture of here. This is like the exact same street I took a picture of earlier, except now that it's later and I think I'm drunk, and it's like, what is this picture of? Here's maybe a more coherent shot of this gay district. They have the Mad Bear Beach approaching. Really just self-explanatory, excellent. There's a lot of these ads for Mega Woof, Roar Pride. I couldn't tell you what this all means, but looking at this one, guess who's playing an 8-hour DJ set? That's right, Japanese noise band Boris. No, just kidding. It's obviously a different Boris. But very, very briefly, again, probably because I was drinking, I picked this up and I was like, what's this about? And I saw Boris and I was just like, oh, what? I gotta go see Boris. But no. This was the Sissy Bag Dolls Club, which launched my brain into a rabbit hole that's very, very difficult to explain. If you would like to try to figure it out, just search for empty spaces on Twitter or doll Twitter. It's like a strange community-based free writing project that I kind of stumbled into. And somebody that I had been following for a while is kind of like the creator of this. And anyways, it was very funny for me to see a dolls club because I often read tweets in this genre. It's like not personally my cup of tea, but the existence of it is really cool. So I still find myself following it, even though all of these people are really living very, very different lives than me and have very different mentalities about everything than me. What else we got? This is just a nice shot of the street. You can see kind of how lively it is. Everybody out drinking and clubbing and palling around, meeting people. Here's another shot. Just trying to capture, the atmosphere. That was great. And then there's this big square that had been like completely taken over by people. People kind of setting up little spots on the ground. I guess it's like a park, but it was mostly kind of pavement. So we bummed around here for a while and had a drink. This is very lenient about drinking on the street in Spain, so we took advantage of that. Another kind of blurry shot. This one I thought was very strange. Just this empty store that says Bitcoin. Really feels like it kind of tells its own story, but a mysterious story with a lot of unanswered questions too. There's Julian just walking past it. Kind of poetic. Another shot kind of from the same direction. I just noticed there's a Tony Roma's here. Which is like a American steakhouse chain, I think, right? Right? Well, I don't know. It strikes me as weird now that it was there. Another kind of blurry picture. Who can explain why? Just this blurry mass of people. Oh god, alright, so I'm trying to take a selfie. That one's no good. This one's a little better. This one, it looks like I'm smiling at least. I probably could have taken my mask off for the selfie, at least. But I guess I didn't think of that. Here again, I'm evidently smiling. I'm not sure what I was exactly trying to capture in this selfie. I guess there's a lot of people. And here's a lot of people again. Really hard to tell what's going on in this picture, otherwise it's a little blurry. Oh boy, what is this? Oh, I took a video. Oh goodness. Here we can watch this. I just gotta. I assume the audio isn't too much. I can't hear the audio. I don't even know if there is audio. There must be audio. Why isn't it recording audio? Oh, I know why it's not recording audio. Okay, hold on. I don't think I'm like saying anything or anything though, but you can get a sense of the energy, maybe the atmosphere. It was great. It like really makes you happy to see so many people in the realest sense of the word out there, out there making friends, having good times with friends, living it up. I took a lot of pictures here. I felt myself pretty excited and pretty moved by being in such a space that, I felt not even like a sense of belonging, but a sense of like empathetic belonging, where just the fact that so many people were there and so many people felt like they belonged, that it really warms the heart and makes you feel like anything is possible. And I guess I was really trying to capture that spirit in all of these drunken, blurry photography attempts. And now it is much later, presumably. No, I know where this is. Oh no. No, the night continues. So the night was supposed to be over. We're heading back to the Airbnb. And then I see this casino. And do you remember in episode 1 when I kept bragging about being good at Mahjong? I say to Julian, if this place has Mahjong, I'm going to clean up. And he's like, oh, Mahjong. I know how to play Mahjong. And I was like, all right, I can take Julian's money too. And then, so like, all right, let's go see if this place has Mahjong. And Isabel and Gleb are like, you guys are idiots. Why would this Spanish casino have Mahjong? Why do you think you can just beat whoever's there at Mahjong? There's so many problems with this. We're just going to go home. And we're like, all right, see you later, suckers. And we head into the casino. Here it is. There was no Mahjong. But it was a pretty cool kind of space to check out the casino and see all the slot machines. Casinos, it's a trite point to make, but they're pretty depressing. You see a lot of gambling addicts there. You see a lot of people that are just kind of fixated on their machines, slowly losing their money. But then there's other areas that kind of keep the facade of excitement and possibility alive. When you go to like the poker room and stuff, you're like, whoa, there's a tension in the air. So we wandered around, we took it all in, we looked for Mahjong unsuccessfully. Then we rolled up at the bar. I don't even know how to present this. I want to present this in the way that is most revealing of me and Julian's ignorance. So I'll say we thought this bar had remarkably cheap cocktails. In this kind of classy casino lounge area. It wasn't too busy, but it had a nice liveliness to it. The cocktails were good, they were strong, and we were like, wow, this is a great deal. Like, we got so lucky that we found this spot. We were like, yeah, they must have, like, cheap drinks to, bring people in and keep them gambling. So we sat there and we had a few cocktails. Keep in mind, this is the first day that I ever met this person. We ended up having this long, sprawling, rambling conversation. It was really, really fun. We had a great time. Bloody Mary, I think. Could be anything. Here we are, a selfie. We got this dessert. Kind of hit. You can look at the cocktails. Now, we weren't so drunk that we forgot what euros were. We knew that this is more like $13 Canadian, a little less than that American. And we were like, yeah, if we're in a big city, if I'm in Toronto and I'm going downtown and I'm ordering a cocktail, I'm expecting to pay like $15, right? Like, that's just the reality of drinking in a big city. So we were like, this is a damn good deal. This was kind of like a yogurty thing Julian got. This was... I should remember the name of this one, because I ordered it entirely based on the description on the menu that I was like, oh, that sounds good. And then a Spanish man sitting down lower on the bar was like, how did you know to order that cocktail? Like, where had you heard of it before? And I was like, oh man, I just saw it on the menu. I just thought it sounded good. And he's like, oh, it is good. So this is, I guess, some sort of Spanish staple. And it was really good. I don't know what it was called. Oh, I took a picture of it. It's the Pisco Sour. I'm pretty sure it's the Pisco Sour. And I was like, Pisco, don't know what that is. Zumo de Lima, lime juice, that sounds good. Huevo, I don't know. I'm not sure why I picked it. Maybe I was just picking things at random. But this other Spanish man was impressed, and it was actually very, very tasty. Here we are. This is probably like 3 a.m. Let's find out. 2:14 a.m. Not bad. And we've decided now is the time to head back to the Airbnb. and we really didn't know how to do that. So we set out on our adventure. Here's a nice coherent picture I tried to take. So, ooh, pretty. It was, there's another good one. Really beautiful buildings. I have little to no memory of this. But, you know, there's the night sky. I tried to get like a cool shot of like the facade and the tree and stuff. I'm just assuming that that's kind of the thing I was going for, but yeah. But we made it home. And we'll see what happens next in the next episode. So please join me then. Alright, bye-bye for now.